Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita chanting, chapter 10, verses 31 to 42.
Pavana pavatamasmi Ramah shastrabhritamaham Jhashanam makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi Jahnavi Sarganamadhirantascha Madhyam chaivahamarjuna Adhyatmavidya vidyanam Vada pravadatamaham Aksharanamakarosmi Dvandvas samasikasya cha Ahamevakshaya kalaha Dhataham vishvato mukhaha Mrityus sarvaharashchaham Udbhavascha bhavishyatam Kirti shrirvakcha narinam Smritirmedha dhriti kshama Brihat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha Dyutam chalayatam Tejas tejasvinamaham Jayosmi vyavasayosmi Sattvam sattvavatamaham Vrishninam vasudevosmi Pandavanam dhananjayaha Muninamapyaham vyasaha Kavinamushana kavihi Dando damayatamasmi Nitirasmi jigishatam Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam Jnanam jnanavatamaham Yacchapi sarvabhutanam Bijam tadahamarjuna Na tadasti vinayat syat Maya bhutam characharam Nantosti mama divyanam Vibhutinam parantapa Esha tuddeshatah proktaha Vibhutir vistaro maya Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Shrimadurjitameva va Tattadevavagachatvam Mama tejosha sambhavam Athava bahunaitena Kim jnatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam Ekanshena sthito jagat
Oh, Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti. The Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. The first 6, middle 6, and last 6. The first 6 chapters deals with Karma Yoga. Then the middle portion deals with Bhakti Yoga. The last portion deals with Jnana Yoga, 13 to 18. 7 to 12, Bhakti. 13 to 18, Jnana Yoga. So that is the way it works. That's the way it is arranged. Now we are in the middle of the Bhakti Yoga. Now, what is this Bhakti Yoga? How this works? This entire idea evolves in 3 stages again. In the first stage, God is given an information to us first. We are introduced to God. And the introduction of God is such that it is that which is the creator. All that you are seeing, all that you are perceiving is created by God. So he is a creator. This is the information given to us. So all that is perceived is created by God. Information. Then the second stage is where all that is perceived is pervaded by God. First stage is all that is perceived is created by God. That is information. Using that information, you have to come to an understanding. What is understanding you come to is all that is perceived / created is pervaded by God. That is understanding. So all that is perceived is created by God is information. All that is created is pervaded by God is the understanding. Then comes the third stage. The perceiver is none other than God. Is realization. Information, understanding, realization. This is the stages. Now here we are in the middle portion. How all that is perceived was created by God, information. We have to internalize and convert that into all that is created is pervaded by God. This is the stage in which we are in the 10th chapter. 10th and 11th chapter. In the 12th chapter, we move to the third stage. The text moves, whether we move or not. Krishna moves. If you can run along with him, you run. If you cannot run with him, forget it. See? He'll say, we'll try from other angle. So Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? People ask, sir, how does Bhakti Yoga work? Bhakti Yoga stages are this. First is information. Second one is understanding. Using that information, you understand something. From that understanding comes about realization. Until you reach this third stage, Bhakti is not complete. So anything that you do to aid you to progress from information to understanding to realization is called Bhakti Yoga. Without this, you do anything, it is not Bhakti. Then what is it, sir? I don't know. Don't ask me. We are going to temple. Every Saturday we go to temple. Which temple you go to? Shaniswaran temple. I'm not saying don't go. Immediately people take that stand as Vedanta says, don't go to temple. By going to temple, you are not practicing Bhakti Yoga. So it is a different standard. So Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti definition, or Bhakti is progression, is in these three stages. Right? That's why he is giving very many examples. I am this, I am this. The last verse which I have seen, verse 29. I am Ananta of Nagas. I am Varuna of water beings. Of forefathers, I am Aryama. I am Yama of controllers. All the controllers, I am Yama. Why? Everybody is attempting to control outside. Now, Yama means self-control. Now, don't think Yama means after death you go and meet a fellow. No, not him. Krishna says, of all the controllers, who is the best controller? Of course, he is also there. But best control is what? Self-control is the first step in yoga. In Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. The first one is Yama. What is it? Self-control. Controlling others is not a point. And enforcing control, enforcing the law is not the essential point. Is this. That is why he has given that name Yama. Same word. Self-control and Yama. Both the cases, Lord of Death. And the Lord of Death is also known as Lord of Justice. He never misses anything. So complete suzerainty. Yes. Enforcement. Perfect enforcement of rules. That is Yama. So all this goes together in control. So there has to be dharma, there has to be self-control. The one who has both together is Lord Yama. Therefore, he says, of all controllers, I am Yama. Continue. Verse 13.
प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम् प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्.
I am Prahlada of Daityas. I am time of reckoners. Of beasts, I am the lion. And Vainateya of birds. Prahlada. I am Prahlada. And I'm sure all of you are familiar with the story of his. Daityas. Daityas means the progenies of Diti. They are the Daityas. So of that, they are all asuras. With the wrong timing, Diti approached Kashyapa, Rishi. So at that time they were born. That is that progenies were known as Daityas, all the asuras. Very interesting. It is, referred, Prahlada, he is referring not with the father's lineage, mother lineage, patriarchy, they say, maternal and patriarchy, paternal or maternal. Here it is maternal. And even many a times we would have seen this, Kaunteya. Krishna calls Arjuna as Kaunteya, Kunti's son. So we don't have this, that the Asharada Putra, you say, that is also there. So each one has their own way of putting it across. So we don't have this. It's only, father. No, there's no need. Suddenly these people have used a new law here. A child is allowed to have a surname, mother's name as a surname also, as though we think it is something extraordinary. 5,000 years back they were doing it as a normal course. Today you need a special law for that. Anyways, Prahlada, and you know the greatness of Prahlada, right? You know that there are many, many avatars of Vishnu. One avatar for one person. That is Narasimha Avatar. Narasimha Avatar is for whom? All other avatars were taken for general public. The protection of devas and to recover this the weight of the earth has gone so much, so to protect Bhudevis, this one, so he has born this one, that one. For every avatar you have different reasons are there. Very unique reason we have is this Narasimha Avatar, where one avatar is taken for saving one child. Imagine Vishnu has to take avatar for every child. After that, we will not call that as avatar. Okay. It's the extraordinary character, nature of Prahlada. This great man is. Amongst that, I am. Yes. Kala yatha maham. Kala. The reckoner is, I am time. I am time there, he says. Very interesting one. It means expert in calculation. Time calculations. Because we know time for all calculations. The time is the important factor there. For calculations, he says. Is we understand, good time, bad time. There are times we say it's a good time. It's a bad time going now, sir. Rahu Kala, Yamaganta, all that we say. Yes, I'm time. Kala. Gana, Mrigendra. I am that Mriga. Mriga means, wild animals. Cow you don't call as Mriga. Actually, means wild animals. Mriga means wild animals. I am that lion. Mrigendra. I am the lion he is referring to. So interesting. This lion is the Vahana for Durga, Lion. And Shiva's Vahana is what? Bull. This guy Husband travels on bull. Wife travels on lion. Amazing. No? Every house you can see. I've seen in the apartments. Every house will have 2 cars. Most of them, okay. Most of them have 2 cars. If they have 2 cars, you can be 200% sure. The big car is husband, small car is wife's. Correct, huh? She says yes. If there are 2 cars, correct, no? But which is the car you have? City. Aparna? In your house? Which one do you use? Amaze. Husband? Oh, your house? 1 car, safe. Only in my house we had 2 cars. I was using Amaze, she was using Honda City. That's why my name is Ishvara. This guy travels on bull. The wife is traveling on lion. Unbelievable. But the way they portray, it's so interesting to see that. Yes, I am the lion. The moment he spoke about, Vahana of this one, immediately this guy remembered his Vahana. Right? That's what he says, Garuda. Vainateya. Vainateya is the name of Garuda. Again, referring to his mother, Vinata. Vainateya means Vinata's son. That is Garuda. And Garuda Prabhava and all. If I have to start explaining who is Prahlada, 1 class will go. And if I have to explain, Garuda, 1 class will go. So don't expect me to explain all that one by one. There is a special Purana itself is there. Garuda Purana. Where Garuda is asking questions to Vishnu. Vishnu is teaching. That is the Purana. Garuda Purana. And in Mahabharata it comes. Very big portion of, this Garuda's greatness is explained there. Big portion. So of this, I am Garuda. Single-handedly the fellow went. And his mother was slavery. Betting they had. Slavery in the sense, don't think like Greeks and all were having slaves. Not in that sense. She had a betting with her, co-sister. She lost the bet. The option is this. And you are to be my slave, I have to be your slave. Servant. You are not equal to me anymore. You are my servant now. And then after the birth of Garuda, obviously he also becomes the servant for all those people. Surasik is her name. So her kids were the Nagas, the snakes. So they wanted to have this. So Garuda one day goes and asks, okay, if we want to get out of the slavery, what do you want me to do? He said, go and get that Amrita from Indraloka. He said, okay, I'll go and get it. That's all, no? I have to get it and give it to you, right? He said, yes, bring it here. So he went to Indraloka. Now when Garuda went to Indraloka, Indra got, obviously, he had to fight. So he had that Vajrayuddha. He takes that Vajrayuddha and hits Garuda. Full blow he gives. 1 feather fell down. Indra didn't know what to do with that fellow. So he goes to Vishnu. and approaches Vishnu. He says, I don't know, there is a fellow like this. We don't know what to do with him. And Vishnu comes. There is supposed to be a fight between Vishnu and Garuda. And he is fighting equal. And finally, Vishnu comes to a compromise. He says, okay, let's start from the beginning. Who asked you to come here, first of all? He said, I don't know. I have to get my mother out of slavery. So I have asked, what is the price we have to pay? They said, I have to take this Amrita Kalasa and give it to those people. The point is, Amrita Kalasa to be taken and given to them. No, that's all right. I said, yes. Okay. I will give. Yes, I'll give you this. What will you give me in return? Vishnu asked. He's a negotiator, superb negotiation. And Garuda felt, so elated. He said, wow, Vishnu himself is coming and asking me for negotiation. Okay, I'll give you this. Okay, we will give you this. They will give you release. What are you going to give us? Makes sense. Whatever you ask, I will give. Says, whatever you ask, I grant. That's my promise. Vishnu said, you be my vahana, my vehicle. Agreed. And then he gave. And then he went and gave that to these people. You have to go and surrender there. The moment you give it, hand it over to those people, you are released. After you are released, you are free. Once you are released there, you are free for a split second. Next second, you become my vahana, my servant. As my servant, I order you to get it back. Vishnu, a brilliant fellow. Now it is your duty to bring it back. He said, okay. See, I gave it to you. Agreement is what? The product has to be taken from here and given there. That's it. Delivery is done, no? Yes. You have given the signature, no? Yes, sir. Bank transfer has happened. Done, sir. After that, what did you do? Dawn movie. Have you seen Dawn? Vishnu is like Dawn. Delivery done, snatched away. And Garuda follows. Fascinating story of birds. I am Garuda, eagle. 31.
Pavana pavatamasmi Rama shastrabhritamaham Jhashanam makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi Jahnavi Pavana pavatamasmi Rama shastrabhritamaham Jhashanam makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi Jahnavi.
I am the wind of purifiers. I am Rama of warriors. Of fishes, I am the shark. Of rivers, I am the Jahnavi. Another name for Ganga. Ganga has many names. I am the wind of all purifiers. That's why in the house we keep a gross ventilation, because it purifies the germs. It cleans the atmosphere. One, externally. And also, internally purification happens. This is of all purifiers. That air, pavana, that prana is that which gives you internal purification also. And it not only detoxes your system, to a large extent, the detoxation has a subtle impact on your mood also. Your mood will change. You can ask all those people who teach, pranayama. They'll tell more about it. Your normal breathing will make a lot of difference to you. It's just a matter of 2 minutes. 2-3 minutes you practice. You get that freshness, pure. You get. So that's the point here. It says, I am Pavana of purifiers. Pavatam means purifiers, of purifiers. Then I am Rama of those who wield the Shastras. There are in this bow and arrow, it has two things. One is astras and another one is shastras. One is along with the mantra, you send out an arrow, you shoot an arrow. Another one is no mantra and all that, just a normal arrow shooting. That is shastra. Astra is with the mantra. Like we say, Nagastra. I've heard Brahmastra. Means it is along with that mantra you have to send it. Otherwise, it will not. Now, of all those people who use just that normal arrow, that's it, nothing, just take an arrow and shoot, that's it. Like we had no Limbaram. Indian shooter, like that. Of all those people, he says, Rama is the best. Those who can wield these weapons. Of all the weapons, bow and arrow was the most powerful one in those days. Now, don't ask today. Today you have AK-47, 57 and all that. Now, you can't go with bow and arrow in front of AK-47. It won't work, right? Shastras won't work. Astras maybe. We don't know about it, but Shastras will not work. So you have to take this bow and arrow and fight. It's a symbol. Rama is a symbol of that. And to him, as to whom he says is very interesting. He's telling that to Arjuna. Arjuna is the greatest warrior. There's none equal to him. One warrior who has never seen failure in his life. Imagine a batsman who has been batting, never got out. No match. What will happen? That is Arjuna. Arjuna has never tasted failure. Even Bhishma has tasted failure. Parashurama has tasted failure in his period, known circle of Arjuna. Even Krishna has tasted failure. Krishna has lost battles. Arjuna has never lost a battle. Even when he was fighting with Shiva, he didn't lose. Appai Dikshidhar gives a beautiful explanation for that. How is it that Shiva, how can Arjuna not lose in front? He's fighting equal with Shiva. How can he have an equal fight with Shiva? How is it possible? He says, not because of that. The Shiva, that fellow, when he came as a hunter, he brought his wife also along with him. Right? Whenever there is a fight between husband and son, mother's focus will be where? The lady will look at whom? Son. Right? She will take the side of the son only. She will not side husband. She will take the side of the son. You be quiet, no? I'll talk to him. He will agree. Arjuna is fighting with Shiva and Parvati is standing at a distance. And her eyes were always on whom? On Arjuna. The child is fighting like so nice, no? And she was enjoying the fight of Arjuna with Shiva. Since she was constantly looking at that fellow, all the strength from her was transmitting to him. Therefore, he could fight with Shiva. Now it is equalized. Explained. Otherwise, how will you explain? Very interesting. How all these people think, Amazing what they are. And these are all, poetic, visualizations. You have to get into the frequency to visualize it like that. In fact, even during this is Shankara says. He says, even after consuming that hala visha, how come Shiva didn't die? He says, that's not because of his strength. Yes, that is because of the jimiki you have. No? What do you call this? Earrings, no? Earrings, you have a drop. Ear drops, they call it, no? Jimiki, ear drop. Ear drop. The light coming from that ear drop has the power to protect Shiva. Parvati is not needed. She is not needed for that. This is too low for her. All that she has to send is what? Just her. It drops is enough. That strength, the light that is coming from that is protecting Shiva. That's why he didn't die, even after consuming poison. Another fellow says, the torture this lady was giving, these two, this Ganges we are seeing, no? Yeah, he has two wives, it's supposed to be. They say it's not a wife actually speaking, but it's story. Shiva had two wives. One is Ganga, another one is Parvati. These two were giving so much of torture to him. And all the time his two sons also fighting. There's Ganesha and Subramanian constantly fighting. So there is no peace in the house. So when there is no peace in the house, what is the option for the man? Drink poison. Even then he didn't die. Torturous life, poor fellow. Amazing. How much they visualize all that stories, various stories they give to us. It gives that like that. I am Rama of all warriors. I am that. The fishes, I am shark. The shark is the one which has a great strength to devour of all the fishes. Shark is the most powerful one. So he says, I am that. Of rivers, I am the Jahnavi. Jahnavi is another name for the Ganges, Ganga. This Jahnavi means the daughter of Janu, Rishi. Is a Rishi by name Janu. This Bhagirath had to have a tremendous effort to get that Ganga, which is flowing in the heavens. He has to bring it to the earth to wash the sin of his forefathers so that they get mukti. Mukti, not the sense of realization and all that. They'll not be, hanging in between. They'll go to a proper place. So that is the samskaras they have to do. So to do that samskara, he says, for the sin these people have committed, these Kapila rishis, they disturbed his tapas. So the whole lot, hundreds of them, 100 sons were burned to ashes. And the pile is there. Now they have to wash that, no? With what you do? He said, if you can get that water from the Ganga, if it comes here, it can happen. So the great-grandson, fourth generation, actually. Fourth generation of the same lineage, he comes and he does tapas. And he brings, that's another story, big story that is. He brings that, and finally Shiva releases, and he is directing the river. He has to bring her, no? So as he was directing her, she was coming behind him, he was walking. And he says, go in that direction, she will go. Go there, go here, take right, left. He's saying, as she was going, this Rishi Janu's ashram was there. And instead of circumventing that and going, she decided to bulldoze that and go. It's in my path, I'll bulldoze and go. And this Rishi saw her arrogance. And what did he do? Entire Ganges he drank. Bhagirath, poor fellow. Getting that is a big problem. And then, getting Shiva to agree is a bigger problem. And then she comes and then Shiva takes her and disappears. Again asking Shiva to release her, another problem. After all that, she is coming. On the way, this man drank the whole thing. Then again he has to plead this Rishi. He says, please release her. Bringing her for the world, please release. That is at time he releases her from ears. That's how she got the name Jahnavi. Mandakini is another one. When this is flowing in the heavens, she is known as Mandakini. And then she comes to the earth. Bhagirathi. She gets the name because of Bhagiratha. And then she comes out of this Janu, ear, daughter of ear. And it is so interesting. That is why we keep this as a norm. What is a norm? Usually, this Ganges is equated to, is a symbol of Brahma Vidya. Remember, this Ganges, of all the rivers, very holy one is Ganges. And don't say that, people, yes, sir, they have taken the sample of this Ganga water. There is no bacteria can live in that. It is so pure and all. That's not the reason. Maybe that's also incidentally true. We don't know about it. But That's a very, very poor understanding. Now, what is this Ganga? When Vishnu took the Trivikrama avatar, the Trivikrama one, this Vamana, no? Vamana. He goes to Mahabali, Vamana avatar. He goes to Mahabali and asks for 3 foot land give. He says, okay, take. I will measure it and take. Okay, take. Yes. And the first foot he takes right up to Brahmaloka. So suddenly, Brahma is sitting there and he saw Vishnu Pada. When he saw Vishnu Pada, who is Vishnu? Brahma's father. When father comes, what is the son supposed to do? Wash his feet. So Vishnu Pada has come. So what is he supposed to do now? Wash the feet. So from his Kamandalu, he washed the feet of Vishnu. That water is the Ganges. It was flowing there. And then, what is it? This Ganges has a uniqueness of association with Brahma. It's the hand sparsha of Brahma. It's the feet sparsha of Vishnu. And it has the touch of Shiva, the head. So it has an association with all. And not only with these gods, it had an association with the Rishi also. That is how it is connected to Brahma Vidya. Beautiful association of idea. This knowledge comes in like this. Why? This is the reason. Has a subtle connotation. That is the representation of Brahma Vidya. And how this Brahma Vidya is spreading to the world? Vedas is spreading to the world. How? By mouth and ears. Isn't it? Association is only with these 2 things, no? Because I am speaking, you are hearing. Otherwise, it is not. So what is happening here? It's a cycle of mouth and ear. That's exactly what happened in this episode also. So entire Shruti. That's why he says this. It is through, of course, flowing. It means flowing. It also has a connotation of, that's why he gives the name Jahnavi instead of using any other names, referring the Ganges with any other names. Why he chooses to use this particular name, Jahnavi, to the Ganges? This is a subtle indication. This is how we interpret it. Now, don't ask me whether it is true or false, we don't know. But it comes in the context. It fits it nicely. So that's how they say this. Of the rivers, I am Ganges, Ganga. Meet in the next class.